Welcome to our Project Management 101 series, Episode 3, How to Run an IT Project, Beginner-Friendly Guide in 25 Minutes. In our previous video, we introduced what is project in an easy-to-understand way and how to run a project using birthday party as an example. If you did not watch them yet, you can find the link to our full Project Management 101 series playlist on the top right-hand side corner. In this video, you will learn how to run your first IT project in just 25 minutes. After watching this video, you will learn the key steps to run a small-sized IT project, the terminology that you might see in an IT project, and ready-to-use project template you can adapt straight away.
Wait, you talk about project size now, right? So, how to define if a project is small in size or big in size?
Thank you for your question, bro. To be honest, it is very hard to provide an objective definition for small, medium, and large project size, as this greatly depends on company size, number of employees, company turnover, etc. But in order to give our audience a basic idea what is the meaning of small project, we had drafted this table for your reference. If a project involves less than 10 people and duration is less than 3 months' time and cost is less than £20,000, we can call it a small project. Example, including laptop upgrade for a department, adding new function to an existing system, creating a customer information capture form. Again, the information here is just for reference only, and please don't use this as the benchmark in your company. Every company had different criteria to define project size. Okay, are you ready to learn how to run your first IT small project in just 25 minutes? In our previous video, we introduced 6 basic steps for how to run your personal project. In order to apply the project management skills in your workplace, which involving more than you, it's time to introduce 2 more steps here. So, the 8 steps to run your project including defining project objective, defining timeline and milestones, scope confirmation, people management, cost calculation, define communication plan, defining and prioritizing task, execute and monitor the task. Like previous video, we will guide you through each steps using a simple scenario. Let's watch the scenario now.
John, our next year target is to increase new customer capture rate by 10%. We need your team support to create a new customer capture form to put in our upcoming marketing campaign.
Sure, Sally. When do you need it?
Before the end of this year.
Peter, you have done a very good job managing the work in your team. I think it is a good time now for you to try something new.
This is amazing. Can I know what is it?
Run your first project. The objective is to create a new customer capture form for marketing team to put in their marketing campaign. You need to have this finished by end of the year. You can reach out to Jessica, our marketing manager, for more details.
Before we talk about the scenario, let us walk you through how to define objective for your project. Objective is what the project is meant to achieve in SMART style. SMART means S stand for specific, M stand for measurable, A stand for achievable, R stand for relevant, T stand for time-bound. You can follow below template to write your first project objective. Just fill in your project details in those placeholder text in brackets and yellow fonts. The objective of this project is to deliver, implement, upgrade, create plus main deliverable in order to solve a business problem or create a benefit by deadline timeframe. Success will be measured by quantitative or qualitative criteria, such as examples, cost savings, time reduction, improved compliance, user adoption rate, increased revenue, etc. Now you know how to write project objective. Let's us help Peter, the project manager in the scenario, to write a proper project objective. The project objective of his project is to create a new customer capture form in order to increase customer capture rate by Q4 2026. Success will be measured by achieving a 10% increase in customer capture rate within 12 months of launch. Now we have the objective written. You might want to know where we should have this documented? Good question. Let us introduce our first documentation here, which is Project Charter. Project Charter is a high-level authorization document that formally starts the project. It establishes the project manager's authority, outlines what the project is about, and provides alignment with organizational strategy. In the example here, project objective is in part 2 of Project Charter. Now let's move to timeline. Timeline is your project's schedule, when you'll start, when you'll finish, and key milestones in between. Plan start date is the date you start planning the project. Normally is the date you being assigned as the project manager or coordinator of that project. Planned end date is the end date of the project. It can be when project goes live or project goes live plus some hypercare period, say 2 weeks. Key milestones for an IT project, including project administration, communication, procurement, development, testing, training, go live hypercare support. Back to the scenario for the timeline pieces. The planned start date will be the date the IT director assigned this project to Peter, which is 4th September 2025. The planned end date will need to be before end of the year 2025, as requested by the marketing director. In order to avoid the peak season in December, let's put as 30 November 2025 for now. When you plan your detailed task list later, you will know if this date is reasonable. Okay, so where to store all these important information? In addition to include these information in Project Charter, which we'll introduced earlier, as you might already know from my previous video, the start, end date, and the major milestones are all the important information for us to put in our project schedule too. Next, let's go back to the scenario.
Jessica, can I know what is your requirement for the customer capture form?
Well, I just need a simple form that collect customer name, phone, email address, country, and their preferred communication method.
Any validation needed for the data input?
Yes. You need to check the phone number no more than 13 numbers. Email address need to contain the @ sign. They'll provide a drop-down box for customer to select their country, and provide checkbox for them to select preferred communication method.
Before we drill into the scenario, let's talk about what is scope. Scope is what's included in your project, and just as important, what's not. It sets the boundaries, so you don't try to do everything at once. The best tool in this step is to ask as many questions as you can. The more you ask, the more clarity regard user requirement. It is hard to expect user to provide every requirement to you in just one question. Set up official meeting, project kickoff, or individual discovery meeting to confirm the project scope officially with user. If it's not written in your scope, it's not part of the project. Don't change the scope in middle of the project unless it truly bring valuable result. So, how Peter should write the scope for his project. In scope should include, develop a customer capture form. Data field needed are customer name, phone, email address, country, preferred communication method. Data validation needed include phone number, no more than 13 numbers. Email address need to contain the @ sign. Provide drop-down box to select country. Provide checkbox for preferred communication method. All other fields that not mentioned above is out of scope. All these need to be included in the project charter too. Next, I'm so excited to introduce you the new step I mentioned before here, which is people. Projects are run by people and for people. Below are the common roles in a project team. 1. Project sponsor, the person, often an executive, who owns the project and provides funding. 2. Project manager, the person responsible for planning, executing, and closing the project. They coordinate resources, manage risks, and keep the project on track. 3. Project team members, the people doing the actual work. For example, developers, analysts, designers, engineers, testers, trainers. They contribute their expertise to deliver project outputs. 4. Stakeholders. This is the broader group of people impacted by, or able to influence, the project. Stakeholders may be internal employees, managers, executives, or external customers, suppliers, regulators. Not all stakeholders have the same level of influence or interest. Some are highly involved, others only indirectly affected. This include the end user who will actually use the product or service once the project is delivered. You need to understand who do what in order to assign them a correct role. This is important for your planning and communication plan. Reach out to your project sponsor or HR department or department head or your vendor to confirm the persons that need to be involved and their role in your project. In Peter's scenario, below are the role mapping for this organization. John, the IT director, is the project sponsor. Peter himself is the project manager. Kathy, the developer, and Sam, the tester, are his project team members. Sally, the marketing director, and Jessica, the marketing manager, are both stakeholders. All these need to be documented in Project Charter too. Next, let's move to the cost step. In this step, you need to estimate how much the project will cost. In an IT project, this normally include below element, hardware, software, application, system, services. Travel? Always plan for a little extra in case of surprises. It's rare for projects to cost less than expected, so we would suggest to add 5% as contingency too. It's time to introduce the third documentation here, which is budget file. Based on our previous experiences, we have drafted a budget file that could help you guys to prepare you one too. As you can see here, it basically includes most of the thing that will exist in a small IT project. Based on John's scenario, we have filled in his information here for your reference too. Remember to put the estimated budget amount in Project Charter too. You might have questioned why the final approved amount, 6,500 GBP, is different from the calculated amount, 6,300 GBP, in John's situation. This is because we want to show you. In some situation, your company might approve a little bit more for you as buffer, or a little less if they think your estimated amount is too high. So better separate these two fields for reference. The next new step is about communication. Communication is important when you need to work with other people. This keep information transparent, reduce misunderstanding, encourage feedback, and discover issue quicker. Communication planning include decide who needs to know what, pick the right channels, decide the frequency. Communication plan is different per stages too. This include the stage of project kick-off, during the project, and project closure. Okay, let's talk about decide who needs to know what. We have tried to map the information need per role as here. Basically, project sponsor and stakeholders, most of the time, they just want to know the high-level status. They don't need to know much details. On the other hand, project team member will need to know in-depth information and require frequent update as they are the one that working on it. The more information you provide, the better quality of their works. Regard communication channel. We would recommend to have face-to-face meeting if possible, as from our experiences, this will help you to build trust with each other easier. If face-to-face meeting is not possible due to reason like remote working or team in another location, then online meeting is your alternative. Team, Zoom, Google Meet, and many other solutions company provide good online meeting tool. Collaboration tool is very useful in the sense that it provide a place for you to centralize your project document at the same time, can encourage unofficial, instant discussion with your team member. Team is one of the example. Last but not least, email is a good option for weekly report communication. Set up a good habit to provide weekly report through email in a fixed time, like every Friday, end of day. This will reduce questions, especially from stakeholders asking you about the status in an ad hoc manner. So, how about the frequency? And the plan in different stage? We have prepared this chart for your reference. Basically, during project kickoff and project closure, we recommend you to at least have one face-to-face or online meeting inviting everybody, meaning your project sponsor, project team members, and stakeholders all together. Project kickoff meeting is for you to share to everyone about the project objective, timeline, and high-level plan. Have them to commit their resources and provide support. Project closure meeting is to celebrate the success and finish of the project. At the same time, you guys can discuss if anything can do better next time. Regard during the project period, we would recommend to set up bi-weekly meeting with your project sponsor. This is useful, especially if you have anything that pending their decision or advice or approval. Weekly meeting is recommended with your project team. This especially useful for you to keep the items on track, and you could be notified if any issues or risks that might affecting the project. As mentioned in previous slide, we would recommend you to send weekly report through email to everybody. This makes sure everyone on the same page regard project status. A collaboration tool will be useful too, especially for daily communication or clarification with project team. Regard the documentation need in this step. At project kickoff, you will need to have your project charter ready, or at least have objective and timeline filled. During the project, we suggest you to send meeting agenda before each meeting, send meeting minutes after each meeting, and weekly report in a fixed date every week. For example, Friday, end of day. At project closure, you might want to prepare lesson learned document too. Some best practice here regard meeting. Always schedule meeting in advance. Say 1 week before the meeting date. Avoid ad hoc meeting. On time to start and finish the meeting? You might have question how to prepare your all the document we just mentioned. For meeting agenda and meeting minutes, we would say the most important is you to list out clearly what will be, had been discussed, and if any action needed, who is the owner and deadline. Format is not important as compared to these things. For lesson learned, we might go through this later in another video, as we don't want to make this video too lengthy. But we think it is useful to show you how to produce a weekly report, as this is an important document for you to run your project. So, here you go. In a weekly report, we recommend you to start with provide project status in traffic light mode. Green means good or healthy or without issue. Yellow means so far so good, not very good or not very bad. Red means something went wrong and need attention. Then provide project milestones. For example, development stage, 50% completion, etc. You could provide a short summary using your own word too. In next page, you could provide the detailed tasks that you team are working on. Say the achievement that completed recently. Say the tasks that you guys focused on this week. And the focus for next week? If you have risks item, issues, and something that require decision from higher management, you could put in this page too. Well, let's move to task now. Tasks are the individual actions you need to complete to reach your objective. Think of them as the to-do list for your project. If you did not watch our video before, let us remind you again what need to be considered when you prepare your project task list. Number 1, use Excel or Google Spreadsheet as tool. Number 2, list out big milestones first. Remember to put project administration as first milestone. Number 3, break big tasks into smaller ones so they're easier to track and finish. Number 4, assign date of each task. Work backwards from your deadline to decide what needs to be done by when. If time is not enough, try doing some tasks in parallel if situation allow. Number 5, assign owner to each task. Number 6, add column status to show progress. Add column remark in case any special reminder or issue. Number 7, share the checklist to your team member and make sure they know what tasks they are responsible and by when they need to finish. Prioritization is very important when you're preparing your task checklist. Prioritization is the process of arranging tasks, issues, or objectives in order of importance or urgency to ensure that the most critical items receive attention and resources first. Some reminder here. Layer 1. If in a situation where tasks need to done in certain order, you need to prioritize the predecessor task first. A predecessor is simply the task that comes before another task. It's the thing that must be done first, so the next step can begin. 2. If in a situation where the task involves high uncertainty, high risk, or high importance, prioritize it first, as you might need more time spend on this task. 3. If in a situation where the task has a very tight deadline, prioritize it first. Okay, it is time to see how we can use Peter's scenario and teach you how to draft your task list. In project management terms, we call it project schedule. As a reminder again, here are the date and milestones that we drafted in Project Charter. They are the basic to draft the detailed project schedule. We have prepared this project schedule template in order to walk you through how to prepare your project schedule. We have listed out most of the common task and subtask that you might find in a normal small IT projects for your references. Let's start with the columns. Subtasks are the smaller tasks derived from the main task that enable you to plan, execute the task, and track the progress. Owner is the one that in charge of that action. Sometimes you might have more than one person involved in that task. If so, please put the one that have more responsibility there. Planned start date is the date you plan to start the task. Planned end date is the date you plan to end the task. I will recommend to at least give 2-3 days per item to provide some buffer. Not to surprise, most of the owner we put here is Peter, which is the project manager, as he is the one in charge to coordinate most of the activities. Status. Percent completion and attention column is for us to track the status and any items that require attention. In this template, we have built formula for percent completion and attention based on the column's status and planned end date. Say, for example, if the status is in progress, we say it is 50% complete of that item, and if the planned end date passed but the status still open, then this item will need attention. Next, let's talk about task 1, project administration, and task 2, communication. As you all heard from us in previous session, we have put all those steps and details for project administration and communication in this project schedule too, as they are important steps and take significant time to complete. One more note, regard the planned end date. Some of the lines here will have planned end date as 30 November 2025, which is the project end date. This is because, say for weekly project meeting, this task need to run until the project finish. Now, let's review task 3. Procurement, and 4, development. Task 3, related to hardware or software or services procurement. As long as you need something but your organization don't have those resources internally, you will need to procure it. You might not need this task in all IT project, but we think it is also good to give you some visibility for what they are. Task 4, which is development, appear in nearly all IT project related to software or application. Like in our scenario, Peter's project is to create a customer capture form, which require his developer, Kathy, to develop the interface and integration. We have listed the necessary tasks here that might happen in this phases, including confirm requirement, technical specification writing, function development, integration development, and bug fixing or fine-tune after testing. Remember to consult your project team how much time they need in this phase. Provide reasonable and realistic time for them to finish their work. After development, it is time to test and validate if this is what the user want. In the testing phases, below are the subtasks that need to be happen. Prepare testing environment, draft testing scenario, perform technical unit test. Unit test means to test the enhancement that the developer done. Perform integration test. Integration test means to test if this particular enhancement had any impact to other downstream systems. And most importantly, user acceptance test, and we sometimes called it UAT. User acceptance test is the step where user can test the enhancement and validate if this is up to their requirement and expectation. If UAT is failed, we cannot go live the system. Remember to allow some buffer days for bug fixing and retest. Finally, we need to get official sign-off from user regard. All user acceptance test scenario all good before we can go to next step. In our future video, we will walk you through how to draft testing scenario for different test stages and how to prepare the sign-off form. We will not include here as this will be too much to you at this moment. Okay, after testing phase, let's go to the training phase. This phase include identify training method, prepare training menu, and perform the system training. You will need to discuss with your user who need to be responsible for this part. If after testing and training, everyone agree the result is good to go, it is time to prepare the go live and also hypercare support. Go live preparation, including prepare go live checklist. Talk to your team and consult them what need to be done in order to move the changes to live. Prepare a checklist for all these tasks. Arrange necessary resources to support go live. Send out communication in email about your arrangement for go live. This include the exact date and time, any action needed on user side to use the new function, etc. Put the necessary steps in action before go live date, including hardware installation and software or system setup. From few days before go live or on go live date, closely monitor and make sure nothing being missed or went wrong. On the go live date or one day after go live, stand by in case anything happened and need urgent investigation or escalation. Finally, let's talk about hypercare. Hypercare here means to put extra effort and closely monitor in case any issue happen. As issue might come up either from technical side or user usage side, have your team ready to answer any questions or fix any problem during this period. Normally, it is 1 week or 2 weeks after go live. After all these, you might have questioned how should you present the project schedule to other people in your team? Will it too much to share the whole project schedule to them? Yes, if you are talking about project sponsor, stakeholders, or higher management, they don't want to know so much details. Therefore, instead of share the whole project schedule, you should prepare a milestones chart to serve the purpose. With the template that we prepared, we have another tab that producing this mini milestones chart. As you can see, all the key milestones, start and end date, and also the % completion all show here. This give your audience a very clear picture where your projects stand. You could also use this to put in your weekly report too. In our template, this chart is auto-generated from the project schedule information. Finally, here come the last step of running your project, which is to execute all the planned tasks. This is where you put the plan into action, doing the work, checking progress, and solving problems along the way. As a reminder, again regard this stage. 1. Finish the task assigned to you on or before the end date. 2. Track the progress of the task assigned to other team member. 3. Resolve small issues at once. Don't wait for it, turn into big problems. 4. If you find any tasks that might require more time than planned, amend the plan, or sometimes you might need to do things in parallel to catch up the plan. 5. Update the status in the checklist. 6. Keep track of budget. If you find out of budget soon, raise to project sponsor for advice. 7. Run weekly project meeting and provide written weekly report to stakeholders. In this video, you learned all the steps to run your first IT projects. At the same time, we introduced 4 project documentation that would help you through the whole project journey, listed here again: project charter, budget file, project schedule, and weekly report. Hope you find all these project documentation useful to help you start and run your first IT project. Wow! Cannot believe it is near the end of this video. I really hope you guys find this video useful and gain the necessary information, and most importantly, your confidence to start your first IT project. If you find the template we introduced here is useful to you, you can get it instantly and download it from our Etsy shop with a very reasonable cost. You can use our coupon code SAVE30 to get 30% off from our shop too. You can find all the link to download the template in this video description session. Thank you for your support in advance. What next in our video? Well, we have tons of things that want to share to you, but your opinion is much more important. What do you think? Any suggestion? Anything you want to know more about project? Any topics you want more explanation? Or you want to share your project experiences and want to know how to do better? Share to us in the comments section and we will review, and we might choose your topics as our next video topics. If you found this video useful, please like this video. Subscribe to our channel, The Projector House. Comment below and share to your friends, colleagues, families, so they can learn with you too. Stay tuned. See you in our next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.